As we approach fall, we always start thinking about squash and gourds. But you might be asking yourself, what's the difference between a squash and a gourd? Well, typically, squash, we think of eating them, versus gourds typically are used more for ornamental or decorative purposes. So today I have two different gourds that I want to show you that we've got growing here at the gardens. And this first one is called the birdhouse gourds. Now, both of these gourds are great, especially if you have kids or you're crafters, because you can utilize them for fun activities. So this birdhouse gourd, as the name may imply, is often used to create birdhouses. You can see it's quite expansive, so you want to make sure to plant it and give it plenty of room. And we've actually had to kind of keep pulling it off of our deer fence here because it's just not strong enough to support the vine, especially once it starts producing fruit. It is preferable to try to trellis these so that your fruit is hanging versus setting on the ground, because you can get some rotting spots on your fruit if you do leave them laying on the ground too long. So that can be a concern. Although we're not really worried about eating these, we're just using them for decorative purposes. Now, the birdhouse gourd, it's a hard-shelled gourd, and so we're actually going to leave these on until after the first frost. That's going to kill the vine, and then we'll be able to come through and collect all of our gourds and then put those away to dry them in order to make different craft projects. Now, this birdhouse gourd is native to Africa. However, the seeds have been distributed all across the world because of the fruit being so utilitarian and used for water and food containers, as well as musical instruments or even garments. They've used this. Now, you'll probably notice not too many flowers on the birdhouse gourd, and that's because it makes a smaller white flower that tends to bloom later in the evening. So you won't necessarily see those flowers very predominantly, but you will definitely start seeing these fruit as they develop under these leaves. And especially the more you dig and after the vines die back, you'll probably be surprised with how much fruit you get. Now we'll go take a look at another gourd. So here's the second gourd that I want to show you, and this is a loofah gourd. Now, you can grow this both for the fruit, but I think it's quite ornamental to add to your garden. You can see it's got a beautiful kind of palmate leaf to it, which I think sort of looks like a Boston ivy, but it also has these bright, sunshiny yellow flowers that are big attractors of bees and other pollinators. So a great addition to any garden, just as a vine if you're wanting to cover something. However, the fruit, you can see we've got this trellis and we've got some giant fruits that are growing here. There's several of them growing back here. And so this is the fruit that we're after. So unlike the birdhouse gourd that we're growing for the shell, this one we're actually growing for the interior. It's got this kind of fibrous matrix interior. And once these dry, we're going to peel off that shell to reveal this. And this is what you can use in the bath or for your dishes to kind of scrub on. And so while we often get sponges from like the sea, this is called your loofah sponge that a lot of people use for kind of cleaning things. And so you can eat it earlier when it's picked, certain loofahs, but this one really is primarily grown for a sponge once it's dry. Now, just like the birdhouse gourd, the loofah gourd, they both like kind of rich, moist, yet well-drained soil, plenty of sunshine, and then just step back because they're going to take off growing for you in your garden.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.